Oh, it looks like I am live. And gosh, guess what? In the background is Mr. Matt Raby and his dog. Yay! Oh shoot! Wait a minute. He's there. There he is. There's Matt.
Hello.
Obviously, you know who I am. I've been providing the very best in finance and insurance training for automotive dealers as well as recreational dealers throughout the USA and Canada. And I got to tell you, I met with Mr. Matt Raby back in 2012, I think, for the Automotive Dealership Institute, and where he was graduating as a finance and insurance manager. And I got to tell you, he was top dog in his class. And man, that was a while ago. That was 8 years ago. And since then, Matt reached out to me. He said, Beck, I got to share something with you I have been working on. And boy, let me tell you how freaking amazing he has been working on how to help dealers to streamline or master, if you will, the FnI documentation process. And boy, let me tell you, I had to wrap my head around this for the past month or so, getting really involved in how this all works and how it works, between e-contracting versus e-signatures, and especially for many of our dealers now, what we're dealing with as far as the crisis, the coronavirus crisis. Are we, doing offsite deliveries, curbside deliveries? Are, in some cases, some dealers back to doing business as usual? So let's go ahead. Let's bring in Matt. Matt's here, and he's going to talk about his platform and how it really can help to streamline that F&I documentation process and get deals funded faster. So with that said, here's Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
All right, yeah, so I've been working on a project for about the last 18, 19 months or so on a way to get deals funded faster, as well as getting the documents and everything electronically signed, because we all know, we all hate to have a deal come back because we had a signature that was missed, or we send the paperwork off to them and they miss a signature, they forget to sign something, they mark out something, whatever the case may be, and then you've got to call back in both buyers and everything to get them to sign in. That can hold up funding, that can hold up getting profit for the dealership, as well as they may have changed their mind after they purchased the Gap or they purchased the VSC, and then they want to go ahead and cancel that, or not purchase that anymore after you bring them back in.
Okay, so first thing I want to do, guys, is I want to make sure that I tell you guys, please share this out. We want to get the word out for Matt Raby. Again, this is something that it took me a while to wrap my head around, because there are a lot of other providers, or there's a few providers out there, let's face it, we're not going to name names, but they talk about the e-contracting solution, but and that is a nice solution to be able to do that, meaning the finance contracts done remotely. But as far as the rest of the actual dealership jacket, the entire jacket, that's not something that these other providers currently offer. So I know that there's a lot of confusion on that, Matt. So could you kind of explain what's the difference between e-contracting and e-signature, so other guys and gals can wrap their head around this too. Before we do that, I do have some comments already. We've got Anthony Santangelo's here. Good to see you, Anthony. He's such a support system. I love you. And then we also have Christine Farnan. Christine, it's a pleasure to see you. I'm so glad you could be on. Scott, hey, this is really cool. I'm so happy you're here, Scott. I think that you might be taking over the Facebook Nation a little bit. I'm trying to there, Scott. I'm trying to go ahead and make it all happen. And thank you, Mr. Anthony Santangelo. Everyone on this call, please make it a point to share. Would you? Share, share, and share. Thank you. And then we've got Dominic Box. Hey, Dominic. Hey, everybody. And he's also sharing as well. Appreciate sharing as well. This is good. Share. Dominic Box has just had to deal with a situation like this, and the client lived hours away. So Matt can talk more about that whole thing. Hey, Fred Gitter. Oh my gosh. Look who it is. Fred is here in the Facebook Live, in the building. And then we got Aviva DeVito. I'm telling you, Aviva, this is what you've got to tell your dealers about. This stuff is amazing. Then we've got Jonathan Basel. Oh my God, Jonathan from Canada. How are you doing, Jonathan? So glad you could be on. And then we've got always here for you back. So again, I'm so happy you could be here with us today. And Matt, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to you, if you will. Just let's talk a little bit about, what's really, what's happening here with this remote FnI, and how is this going to be? Tell us why this is a game changer, and why did you develop this?
Well, kind of going back to what Dominic said, I had instances where I had military customers that had a spouse or their co-buyer, like their parents, would be in another state, and having to send those documents to them. Sometimes even just the spouse may be a few hours away doing some type of training or something like that, and it may take them 2 or 3 days before they could come in. And you didn't want to pass up that opportunity to sell a customer. If they've already agreed to all the numbers, and then they're ready, they're excited, they're in that buying mode and they want to buy that vehicle, and then you have that hang up of, well, I'm sorry, we can't sign you up today because your co-buyer is 4 hours away. And this helps solve that to where you can go ahead and electronically sign all of the documents, all of the dealership documents, not just your law contract, not just your credit app, and a few other products that some of the other providers are currently doing. This is going to allow you to get all of your documents done. And I had that need of not having to wait for the customer to come in and wait for their spouse to drive in from a few hours away to, come in and sign, because then they've already seen some of the paperwork. They've maybe discussed some of that, the VSC or the gap, the tire and wheel. They discussed that with their co-buyer, and then whenever they finally come in and say, hey, we thought about it, let's not get that. And this is going to allow you to go ahead, capture everything, get it while they're in the buying mode, not let them change their mind, not let them have any type of buyer's remorse. You'll have a cashable contract before they leave, before they take delivery of the vehicle, whatever the case may be. And sometimes you can get it funded the same day with some of the lenders and stuff that are out there that allows you to send the documents directly, either upload or through fax.
Well, one of the things that I liked streamlining this process. I don't care if we're doing traditional sales or we're doing non-traditional, we're doing offsite, we're doing curbside, and we want to finalize this transaction, and we want to make sure that we have our ducks in a row. And I really like that. But even especially when we are trying to upload POI, proof of residence, and maybe even additional monies down during this online transaction. And also it delivers an ID verification. And I know a lot of dealers, and I was in fact on the phone yesterday with another dealer friend of mine who wants more information, which I'm going to do today. I'm sorry, yesterday just got crazy. But he definitely wants more information on this whole thing. But one of his questions was, what about this ID verification? Does it include the ID verification? So can you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, so there's a couple different types of ID verification. There's the traditional OFAC or LexisNexis knowledge base authentication. And then there's also the new ID verification where they upload their driver's license and then they take a selfie and there's a proprietary software that goes in and verifies that identity. And that same system is currently being used in the pharmaceutical industry for being able to order your online prescriptions and everything, so that way they can verify your identity that way. So it's already out there. It's tried several different industries and everything, and it's compliance, and that's what everybody else is concerned with, is compliance, making sure they're selling the vehicle to the actual end user and not somebody else, because you don't want to have to buy back a vehicle or anything like that because you sold it to someone that's not who they said they were. And you definitely want to make sure that you're going to be able to get your deal funded.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's really important because I know that he mentioned, how do we know that that customer is who they say that they are before we're sending customer personal information for these electronic signatures? And it's really important that we do our due diligence to make sure that is the customer that they say that they are before they have access to this information. And I think a lot of times when we're doing some of these UPS, federal overnighting to customers' home, documentation, contracts, you name it, that get these wet signatures. And how do we know whether or not that customer is who we think that they are that are signing these documents? How do you know whether or not it might be, I don't know, a sibling in the family or that sort of stuff? So this really helps to curtail some of that fraudulent activity. And, you know, you and I were on another call with another dealer who was very concerned about some of the fraudulent activity taking place, especially with their Highline vehicles and doing these off-site deliveries. And I'm telling you right now, this is a game changer to help to secure, to assure that this customer is who they say that they are, even before they get access to the file. And also being able to take the ID verification to even a higher level with, I think you mentioned, uploading a driver's license for verification. How does that work, Matt?
Yeah, so before they even can review the documents, they're going to take their phone, take a good picture of their driver's license, and then turn around and take a selfie, and then the program itself will work and say, all right, that the identity has been verified, and then you've already captured their driver's license as well. So you get a chance to review it. You can verify that the driver's license is a valid driver's license, that it's not expired, all of that. So you kind of get that up front as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I like it because, let's say, for an example, we might be dealing with customers that we didn't get all the information correct, obviously, during the delivery process. And, you know, again, whether or not you guys are going back to traditional way of doing your FnI, I don't know how easy it is to drive a customer back into a dealership again to get these signatures, right? And so I think it would, and plus who has 15 days to wait for a freaking deal to get funded, for crying out loud? I don't know if we have all that time to wait. And especially the way that these banks are responding today, we need to make sure that this stuff is in-house, collect the POI, POEs, whatever that we need to do to get funded that day. Sitting around waiting for 10 days, by that time, the customer, I don't know, hopefully not, but there could be some unemployment issues taking place. Who knows, with this whole thing going on. So, I mean, we got to be more urgent about how we're taking care of this business as well. Plus, also obviously streamlining the process. So let's see what other comments we have here so far. We have. Did I already show? Hello there, I think. Okay, we got that one already. Hey, Terry Gibson. Hey, Terry. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. And Mr. Adam Marins is in the house. Where is he? I didn't see Adam. Hey, Adam, I'm so glad you could make it. And definitely good to see you, my dear. I'm so happy you're here. And then, great question, Becky. Thank you, Mr. Anthony Santangelo. I love saying that last name. Fred Gitter, besides the upload of the driver's license and the selfie, are there any other questions that are asked to verify identity? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically there are some options to use LexisNexis, and it's just like your red flag OFAC questions. They have to answer those questions correctly in order to even be able to open the document. So, because the documents are going to contain your credit application, which is going to have your full social, your date of birth, and all of the pertinent information. And you don't want just anybody being able to open an email and see that information. So it will require them to put in or answer those OFAC questions, essentially, in order to even open the documents. And that's a very good question, Fred.
Laurie Foster's here. Hey, girl. Good to see you. Glad you could make it today. Appreciate you saying hi. It's awesome. Mr. David Cribbs. David, one of these days, Facebook Live. Come on with me. Okay, and then we get, hey, Becky from David. Good to see you guys. So, that really is a great question from Fred. And Fred I've known for, oh my gosh, 20 years? Now I'm really dating myself. I thought I was dating myself with you, for crying out loud. But 20 years, Fred, I was training Fred on menu selling. Are you kidding me? Back in the day, he thought, Becky, have you lost your mind? I don't want to go ahead and put that base payment out there on the menu. How is that going to work? How can we be profitable with menu selling, right? And so now look at us, right? So now how can we be profitable by putting FnI online? And so I think some of us are definitely apprehensive about really engaging customers, FnI engaging customers earlier in that whole process. And that's where I think it is more important than ever before that we have better ways to get to convert those customers to our financing. And that would be during the digital journey, online digital journey. And how effective are we in being able to obtain loan approval, bank approval, and then be able to send these documents, or as many documents as you can, right? To speed the entire time it takes to finalize the transaction. Once the customer gets to the dealership, whether that be curbside delivery, could be in the dealership delivery, but I don't think a lot of customers want to spend all day in the dealership like they used to obtain financing and spend an hour-long time with that FnI person. What are your thoughts there, Matt? Because Matt, I'm going to tell you right now, Matt, he did his FnI. He's darn good at it. So you're talking to a $1,900 fee for me, but he does really good. Thank you for the answer. That's all we wanted to hear there. And good to see you. Thank you, Lori. Again, you know me all too well. You know I'm skeptical, but I always come around skeptical. Yes. So what do you think about that, Matt?
And see, there's also another couple of things that my platform can be utilized for. Let's say that you do have the customers in the dealership. They go ahead and they sign all of their documents. And then as you're back halfing your deal, you realize that, hey, maybe you did forget to get something signed, or you missed a document. You got to talking to them, you got really involved, and you forgot one document that you needed to get signed. And now one of the customers is 5 states away because you signed them up on Saturday and they flew out on Monday. Whatever the case may be, this is going to help solve that. But also, we all know, being in the box, you've got customers they seemingly are always in a rush. They've got a doctor's appointment, they've got this, they've got that, and they got to leave. And they've agreed to the numbers out on the floor, and then all of a sudden now they got to leave. They've spent 3 hours at the dealership, and then all of a sudden, oh, well, now we don't have time. We got to go. We got to rush out. And you don't get a chance to really perform at your best by being able to spend the time building your menu the way you want, getting to do your customer interview before you bring them in the box and everything else. This is going to be able to still allow you to do that customer interview with them. And, let's say that they really do have to leave. Let's say that it's a legitimate reason that they have to leave. And then, but you had 3 customers in front of them. Is it fair to those other 3 customers that you put this customer in front of everybody else? No, it's not fair. But you still want to be able to sign them up, get them done, get them on the road. This allows you to go ahead and, maybe BVA the customer and get all of the documents ready to get sent out, and then you can send it out to them and they can sign it off site, but you still get to let the customers leave in the vehicle.
Awesome. So that's a great point. We've got a question from Anthony Santangelo. How many FnI managers do you think that are on board with doing a Zoom video call with the customer for a menu presentation? I have a response, but I'm gonna let you answer that first, because I'd be curious on what you're seeing out there in your travels. How comfortable are these FnI people with doing a true Zoom video call, their menu presentation? Matt?
Yeah, there's some that are trying to get used to this. I mean, because it's new to a lot of people. They're not wanting to do a Zoom video call, but there are some that are really striving with this, and then there are some that are struggling with it. But that's the thing. Eventually, this is probably where everything's going to go. You're going to have customers that's just going to want to sit at home and buy their vehicles and not even come into the dealership. They don't want the hassle of having to deal with a salesperson, trying to high pressure them or whatever their excuse is going to be. And they're going to want to try to do the entire process off site. And I'm not saying that we need to change the way we do business now, but we need to be able to cater to those customers that maybe that's the only way they want to buy. If you take them out of the market and go ahead and do this entire process online, you're just going to have to get better, and you're going to have to put that as part of your repertoire of being able to do a Zoom or video or FaceTime, whatever the case may be, of doing your presentation. There are some platforms out there that are, because of the whole COVID-19, that have changed their ways of being able to do an electronic menu presentation, and you can do that with the customer, let them kind of choose their options, but then you're still having to mail them the paperwork. You're still having to send them with a delivery driver, or the salesperson, or yourself is having to take them out there and get them signed. This is kind of a way to tie that all in, to allow everything to be done electronically and not having to have the customer to set foot on the in the dealership.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. We're both on the same page as far as that goes. I think that, some of us always want things to go back to the way that they used to be. And I completely get that. But Mike Engel yesterday on Mr. Anthony Santangelo's Facebook Live, it was a good interview. Unfortunately, a lot of, it was, the connection wasn't the best. But Michael, he's an amazing dealer partner, and he has been struggling through this Pennsylvania shutdown. It has been brutal. It has been really brutal on him. But he did mention that he felt that even if things would go back to the way that they used to be, he will never go back to the way he used to be. I think that's really kind of what he said. Like, even though things go back to the way that they were pre-COVID-19, we've all been through 45 days. And he's not going back in that time. He is going to figure out better ways to do business. He is going to prepare to be able to offer traditional and non-traditional options to their customers, and make it a point to be able to streamline that process, make it a point to put these steps in place that really assures that they're in the game, and that they're as competitive as they possibly can be. We have dealers here in Georgia, and I'll be Jim Ellis. Frankly, I think he's innovative. He gets it. He's offering customers the ability to do financing any which way that they want, online, offline. It doesn't matter. Mobile, however which way that they want to do business. And frankly, I think that's really smart. Those guys and gals, and there are going to be plenty of them, who are going to revert back to keeping it comfortable, keeping it the way that it used to be, I don't think you're going to fare very well. Versus those dealers that are embracing some of this change and saying, okay, just like you said, they're going to be customers that are willing to come into a dealership all day long and continue to buy a car the way that they used to buy a car. Or there are going to be others that say, I'm not going to be in that dealership all day buying a car. I have a parent, or I have someone in the family who's vulnerable to some degree with regard to if in the event I bring home that coronavirus. And I really want to be conscientious about, this whole thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. But on a proactive, being proactive about this, it's important that that dealers really see the benefit of creating and being a part of these technologies that really help to streamline the process and make it a point, obviously, to create a better buying experience for the customer, and also at the same time able to get these deals funded. And so we have Adam Aarons, and they will buy based on convenience and products too. Now, here's my mentor, Mr. Adam Aarons. He was the one who pushed me out there and out there and do that menu, Becky. So it's always
Adam had a comment right above that.
Who did? Adam did?
Yep.
High income people want the experience to be this way. I happen to agree with that. I don't always agree with Adam, but I will tell you that I think we talked about that earlier, right? That I felt that more affluent, more high income, maybe affluent, same thing, are going to pretty much want that experience, just that streamlined experience. They don't want to go back and forth in the dealership, and we need to provide customers with the ability to, keep it short and sweet, right? And so we have enable buying convenience. And then we learn from life experiences from Scott. Why is the website not complete? It asks me to book online, but what is that for? Oh boy, Clark, why don't you explain that, Matt?
So of course, I'm a startup company, just getting the website up and going slowly but surely. But the to book online is to more or less kind of have a one-on-one with myself to go over the product a little bit more in detail, kind of show you some examples, pricing, and stuff like that. So that's basically what the book online section is for currently.
It's actually called a what? It's actually called a landing page. And the landing page is really a way for Matt to be able to extend himself to, as you mentioned, to answer any questions that you may have, to give you some idea, understanding of what the platform features are all about. But yeah, definitely Matt is a startup company. So that's why I'm so excited about helping him and about pushing this out to my dealers, and also here on Facebook Live Nation with everyone, because it is innovative. And I got to tell you, it's very impressive when we see someone quite like Matt, who is not only, he's performance driven, but imagine this is the kind of stuff, right, that we need in these dealerships. But you have someone who's innovated over the year and a half, who came up with a process, a way to streamline this process, to go ahead and obtain funding. I got to tell you, this is everything that we have been asking. Where are these guys at? So here he is, right? Here he is, who took the initiative, who has the drive to make a difference. And I'll tell you right now, I don't know, maybe somebody else could have done it, but he did it. He's the one who put it together. And he is not only, like I said, a great FnI professional, but really tech savvy. Tech savvy. So I'm going to do everything that I can to support Matt. We've been on calls with our dealership groups throughout the USA, and that's why. So yeah, good question though, Clark. I appreciate it. I would love to see a demo of the process. You got it. Go ahead, Matt. What do you want to say about that one?
Yeah, if you just do the book online, we can schedule a time together, and I can go over more details, show you a demo and everything.
And also, just want to make sure. Oops, wait a minute. Let's see. Get this off of there. Oh, there it is. There it is. Use this code. Yes. So we're going to sign up. You got a special code here, guys. I want to make sure you take advantage of it. Sign up for this 3 months. Get 8% off on the ticket price. Use this code Chernek, CHERNEK 408. Is that right, Matt?
Yep.
So you want to sign up? I'm telling you guys, this is it. You're going to make your life so much freaking easier. I would never, ever, ever, and Anthony, Adam Aarons, Lori, these guys will tell you, I will not ever endorse something that I haven't checked out myself. And I'm telling you right now, this is where it's going. This is going to blow up. This is going to blow up. Trust me on this one. And, so yeah, I'm really excited. So definitely when you sign up for that demo, make sure you use this code Chernek 408. That way you get your 8% off the discounted price sign up for 3 months to get the 8%. Is that what you're doing? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So guys, you got to do this because I'm telling you right now, this will blow you away. It blew me away, and I'm in the marketplace. I see a lot of stuff, but I'll tell you right now, anytime I can get my deals to come in and get my paperwork and get it funded that same day, I'm all in. And that's what this is all about. And I know it might sound like, wow, I haven't heard this. I haven't seen anything like this. I didn't either. But it's a game changer. It really is a game changer. So I highly recommend that you take the demo and check it out. And of course, if there's anything else that I can do for you too, I'm all in. Matt, thank you so much again for making it here on the Facebook Live with Becky Chernek. I really appreciate it. Anthony mentioned, when with Becky, sign up with Becky. Yeah, right? So we got this. Yeah, again, Anthony, as you all know, I would never, ever, ever have a dealer do something I haven't vetted and wanted to make sure that this is a real deal. This is a real deal, and we're talking to bunches of big dealer groups about this, and I'm really excited about it. And so you see how things turn out. I mean, here we are on lockdown or shelter in place. And we're still working. We're still making things happen here. It's been mind-boggling. I mean, talk about I've had to think about this whole thing. I've had to see these demos. I've had to be involved in these webinars, asking questions, finding out what this does, what it can do, and all sorts of stuff. So it's been really exciting. Well, we love you when you say you're all in, Becky. I am Mr. Anthony Santangelo, and thank you again last night for a great live with Mr. Engel. He did a fantastic, fabulous job, and it's always good to see that kind of promotion. So, again, thank you guys for being here on the Facebook Live with Becky Chernek and also with Matt. All right? Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.